Greetings, comrades, coming to you from down here on Earth in the laboratory. I was doing a little digging in some old government newspaper archives for another video, and I stumbled upon this news article from November 8th, 1921. This news article is very interesting as the subject is flat Earth. But not just flat Earth being taught in school. So here we are at chroniclingamerica.loc.gov on a news article from 1921. The Ninana News, Tuesday, November 8th, 1921. The article is titled Zion Schools Teaching Theory of Flat World, and it reads, Zion schools, of which Wilbur Green Voliva, the overseer of the colony, is president, have adopted his new theories of a flat world and the absence of gravitation, and the 1,000 grade and high school pupils believe them implicitly according to their teachers. The public school, maintained by the State Board of Education and attended by the children of non-members of Voliva's Christian Catholic Apostolic Church, still teaches, however, that the world is a globe moving through limitless space, and that it was the attraction of gravity which caused the apple to fall on Isaac Newton's head. At the Zion schools, the new course of study teaches that the Earth is a flat, circular world with a North Pole in the exact center, no South Pole, and surrounded by a wall of ice which keeps venturesome mariners from falling off the rim. That the Earth has no motion but remains stationary in space. That the Sun is not millions of miles in diameter and 91 million miles away, but is really a little orb 32 miles across and only 3,000 miles from the Earth. That the law of gravitation is a fallacy, and when objects are thrown into the air, they continue to rise Earth because they are heavier than air. Not sure that made very much sense. A standard map of the world on Christopher's projection is used in until the force which propelled them is expanded, and then fall back to the schools to demonstrate the flat world theory. I don't know if I understand. This map, which is used by navigators and scientists in making time and longitude calculations, differ from the usual Mercator's projection familiar to other schools, in that it shows the Earth as it would look to an observer directly above the North Pole, with the continents and seas projected on a flat plane. As a result, the North Pole is in the center, and instead of the South Pole, the Antarctic regions are indicated by a white ring about the outer circumference of the circle. This ring, according to Voliva, is the ice barrier which keeps mariners from falling off the edge of his flat world. The Christopher projection was made 30 years ago, prior to the discovery of the South Pole, and before much was known about the Antarctic regions, so only a bare outline of portions of the southern Iceland is shown. Miss Mary Thompson, principal of the Zion school system and an ardent believer in the Voliva theories, has propounded a question which she believes will trip scientists and navigators, showing on her flat map that the Tropic of Cancer, 43 degrees from the North Pole, was a much smaller circle than the Tropic of Capricorn, 47 degrees further away, Miss Thompson says. Navigators on a globular Earth would find, if they were to sail completely around either of these tropics, that they would be identically the same length. On a flat Earth, however, the Tropic of Capricorn would be much larger than the Tropic of Cancer and would take much longer to sail around, because on a flat Earth, the Tropic of Cancer would be nearer to the center or North Pole. Why don't some of the globular Earth believers try sailing around the two tropics and find out whether they are, or we are, correct? The globular people certainly can't prove curvature of the Earth. Miss Eva Baker, teacher of geography, demonstrates to her classes that the Sun is only a tiny orb a few thousand miles away, instead of an orb millions of miles in diameter, 91 million miles from the Earth. If the Sun was so large, she says, it would light up all the world, instead of confining its hottest rays to a 3,000-mile wide belt between the two tropics. Voliva himself, in a recent sermon at Shiloh Tabernacle, said God certainly would not have made a sun to light the world and then placed it so far away. A man would be a fool, the overseer added, to build a house in Zion and place his parlor light in Kenosha. Miss Thompson says the children prefer their new flat world to the old-fashioned round one in which Columbus believed. The students in Zion schools, she says, grasp the theory of the flat earth readily because their minds are not full of globular earth teachings such as older folks have had drilled into them. Therefore, they accept the flat earth teaching without questioning, not because they have to, but because it appeals to them as rational. I don't believe there is one student in the grades who has questioned it. The flat earth seems more reasonable to them than the globular unreal. Wilbur Glynn Voliva, who succeeded John Alexander Dowie as overseer of Zion on the latter's death in March 1907, was born near Newton, Indiana, March 10, 1870. In 1897, he received his B.A. from Hiram College, Ohio, and in the same year, a degree from Union Christian College at Murrum, Indiana. In 1889, he was ordained a minister in the Christian church and held a pastorate at Linden, Indiana from 1889 to 1892. 7 years later, he joined Dowie's church and was ordained an elder and placed in charge of the Zion Tabernacle in Chicago. He represented Dowie at Cincinnati in 1900 and 1901, and was then sent to Australia as overseer of the Dowie settlement of Zion there. He returned to Zion in 1906 as assistant to Dowie. Well, that was very interesting. I noticed in the beginning it said, "The Earth has no motion but remains stationary in space." So here we have the flat disk floating in space being pushed all the way back in 1921. Nobody believes we are on a flat disk floating in outer space. Okay, so who is this Wilbur Glynn Voliva? President of the Zion schools that were teaching flat Earth, apparently. I would like to learn a little more about that guy, but maybe for another video. This video comes with a challenge. We can call it Principal Mary's Challenge. She claims on a globular Earth, sailing around the tropics would be the same exact distance. However, on a flat Earth, the Tropic of Capricorn would be much larger than the Tropic of Cancer, and would take much longer to sail around. Who is up for the challenge? I know one of you Globe Earth believers has a boat. Does anyone on Earth accept Principal Mary's Thompson's challenge? Okay, comrades, that's enough for today. May God bless you all, in Jesus Christ's mighty name.
You're the pilot?
Hi.
How long have you been flying for?
Like for Delta 21 years, but maybe like 30 something.
I want to know, because they say the pilots know a lot. Do you think the Earth is flat or no?
I know it's flat.
You know it's flat? How long have you been flying for, you said?
Over 30 years.
And when you tell people that, do they think you're like crazy or no?
Only one person.
Only one person?
Yeah, we're
All right.
recording here.